Hola, estás a punto de terminar tu entrenamiento. Es tiempo de poner en práctica lo aprendido.
La presentación de tu pasillo es el último requisito para graduarte. En tu cuadernillo encontrarás la guía que te ayudará a prepararte para este gran día.
En este video te enseñaremos ejemplos de la dinámica y te daremos algunos tips para que todo salga de maravilla.
Recuerda que el pasillo que presentarás pertenece al departamento para el cual fuiste contratado. Escucha atentamente a tu gerente.
Yesenia, Gustavo, buenos días por estar con nosotros. Están en la última etapa de su entrenamiento, ya que tienen conocimientos técnicos de cumplimiento y de cultura Walmart, además de que ya saben cómo sale e ingresa la mercancía y cuál es nuestro compromiso para con nuestra cliente. Hoy es día de presentar su pasillo. Hoy nos acompaña nuestra subdirectora Marta Vázquez. Marta, bienvenida y gracias por estar con nosotros.
Tú eres muy importante para todos y todas. Por eso, en ocasiones la subdirección estará presente en tu graduación. Escucha lo que tiene que decirte.
Gracias por la invitación, Francisco. Estoy muy contenta de acompañarlos en el día de su graduación. El simple hecho de haber sido elegidos para trabajar dentro de la compañía demuestra el talento con el que cuentan y las grandes cosas que pueden lograr. Y bueno, creo que es importante dar lo mejor de nosotros mismos en esta presentación, relajarnos y disfrutarla. Francisco, si nos ayudas con la porra, por favor.
Di la porra con mucha energía. Te ayudará a sentirte seguro antes de iniciar.
Antes de iniciar, respira y piensa que todo saldrá bien.
Para comenzar, di tu nombre, tu puesto y el pasillo que presentarás.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Mi nombre es Gustavo, soy vendedor de mercancías generales. El día de hoy te voy a presentar el pasillo de eléctricos, en el cual puedes encontrar multicontactos, extensiones, clavijas, apagadores y uno que otro artículo más. Esta categoría corresponde a la...
Bueno, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ya se acabaron las categorías, lo hacemos con una que...
barras, la categoría y la sección.
Habla con calma, claro y fuerte.
Bueno, ahora te voy a hablar del plan mensual del departamento. Plan mensual es de 1.029.000 pesos, con una venta acumulada de 81.400, con un crecimiento del 11.2%. con un OSCA de un porcentaje del 91.27% hasta el día de hoy.
Explica cada uno de los conceptos. Intenta evitar leer la información. Demuestra que dominas el tema.
Bueno, ahora te voy a hablar de los artículos agotados. Un agotado es un artículo que no tiene existencia en el IIP, que es inventario perpetuo. En este departamento contamos con 2 agotados, que lo puedes encontrar en esta parte y de ese lado. También es importante mencionar la pérdida por semana de los agotados. En este caso, estos 2 agotados me generan por semana una pérdida de 1.563 pesos. También te voy a hablar de los artículos en movimiento. En este caso, por mencionarte algunos, el aparato de humo y la luminaria LED. También es muy importante señalar qué puedes hacer al respecto para que esos artículos en movimiento tengan una rotación, ya sea que puedas moverlos del lugar, una exhibición adicional, y también es importante que siempre lo tengas señalizado, limpio, acomodado y ordenado en su lugar.
Si al momento de revisar la guía de preguntas tienes alguna duda, acércate con tu jefe o jefa directo y o colega para que te expliquen detalladamente.
También es importante que sepas cuáles son tus artículos nuevos por departamento. En este caso yo tengo la lámpara LED, que la encuentras de aquel lado. Ahora te voy a hablar de los artículos OPP. ¿Qué es un artículo OPP? Es un artículo de marca propia. En este caso tengo la extensión Handywork, también tengo resistencias y apagadores. Ahora también es muy importante que sepas cuál es tu artículo más vendido por departamento. En este caso es mi extensión Sanel de 5 metros, que me vende 25 piezas por semana con una ganancia de 1.400 y un margen de 38.16% por semana. Ahora te voy a hablar de los productos de marcas estratégicas. Ahora cuál es su artículo más vendido por departamento. En este caso, es mi extensión sale de 5 metros. Que me venden 25 piezas por semana, con una ganancia de 1.400 y un margen entre el 8.16% por semana. Ahora te voy a hablar de los proyectos de marcas estratégicas. En este caso, sale de 5 metros. Que me venden 25 piezas por semana, con una ganancia de 1.400 y un margen entre el 16% por semana. Ahora,
pongan en las actividades del día a día. Y bueno, es tiempo de trabajar en sus sueños y hacerlos realidad. ¡Felicidades!
Recuerda que la presentación del pasillo es la última actividad de tu capacitación. Revisa detenida. Pide ayuda a tu colega, jefe o jefa de departamento y gerente para consultar cualquier duda que tengas.
Una hora antes de tu presentación, revisa que el pasillo que presentarás esté en perfectas condiciones. Esfuérzate y da lo mejor de ti. ¡Contamos contigo! Hola, estás a punto de terminar tu entrenamiento. Es tiempo de poner en práctica lo aprendido.
La presentación de tu pasillo es el último requisito para graduarte. En tu cuadernillo encontrarás la guía que te ayudará a prepararte para este gran día.
And then when I was accepted in this jury show, and my painting was hung, out of 700 paintings that were submitted, 100 were accepted. And my one painting that wasn't even signed was accepted. That was definitely the beginning of my art career. And right then and there, I started having shows. And a lot of the people, the politicians and the people that were in the rum running and all these people, wonderful people that lived in Nassau, were starting to collect my work. And so from that time on, I was having shows every single year. In 1972, having just gone through a divorce, I saw a demonstration by an artist by the name of Tom Hill at the San Diego Watercolor Society. And his subject matter was Puerto Vallarta, the bandstand, the church. And I thought, wow, this is a different Mexico. It's a different one than I really know. I only knew Tijuana, and it was not one of my favorite places. I certainly never thought I would ever want to go to Mexico until I saw that painting. And so I decided to take the workshop that he was giving in Puerto Vallarta. As a matter of fact, I shared a room with a young lady who was the wife of a heart surgeon. Her name was Nancy Fritz. And Nancy and I became really good friends, really fast. And Nancy invited me to meet some of her doctor friends who had rented Casa Lido in Puerto Vallarta. And she said, come with me. They flew down in their own plane. They brought some wonderful steaks, and they invited her for dinner. And she said, you come with me. I said, okay. So I did. And I met these lovely people. And it wasn't but 5 minutes. And this good-looking man arrived at the party carrying a bag of ice. And he looked at me. We got introduced. He looked at me and he says, I know your face from somewhere. And I'm like, you're right. I don't know your face from anywhere. After Michael found out why he remembered my face, I asked him, I said, now I want to know, what are you doing here? These are all surgeons from Tucson. How do you know these people? He says, I don't know them, but there were some other people staying here in this house a few days ago, and they came to talk to me about buying a condo. And Michael was building the very first condos in Puerto Vallarta. I had to make a decision about my life. My life, having just gone through a divorce, having 2 little children, and I could definitely see that I could be happy living in Mexico. My experience in Puerto Vallarta was just amazing. I'm going to bring my kids down here, give them a wonderful experience of learning Spanish, having different culture, and so I picked them up, put them in the car, and drove to Mexico. Michael and I were dating, and you know, the kids used to say, well, who's this man that's living with your mother? You know, the Catholic country, you know, they didn't approve of that. So Michael and I decided, well, why not get married? So we did. You know, at that time I had already painted for like over 10 years. And I had many shows in San Diego, became a charter member of the San Diego Watercolor Society, and I was, you know, starting to get pretty well known. And so when I arrived in Puerto Vallarta, there was an artist by the name of Manuel Lepe, and he was a primitive artist, became very well known, and he and his wife Laura ran a gallery, and so they invited me to show my work at the gallery, and that's how I started having exhibitions there. So I've been in Puerto Vallarta, I've been a professional artist in Puerto Vallarta for 46 years, and I have had annual shows, never missing a year. Puerto Vallarta started becoming crowded, you know, it changed a lot. And so after, you know, following the coast, we ended up in Sayulita. And Sayulita was charming. I mean, Sayulita was small, it had just dirt roads, mostly native people on horseback. The beach was covered with fishing boats. It was a very active fishing village. And we kind of both fell in love, you know, the town was just built around the center, and there were not a lot of tourists. There was nothing there. For most people, they would not have liked it because there was like one restaurant, El Costeño, that's still there in business today, was there, and then one grocery store, no bar, no ice cream parlor, no telephone, no television. So we moved to Sayulita and just loved it. It was just great. We were there for like 30 years and in Sayulita, and we saw tremendous changes in Sayulita. And actually, what happened was, you know, a lot of people used to ask me, well, where do you show? Where's your studio? And I said, well, it's in Sayulita. But how can we find you? And they said, well, I have no phone. So I decided to have open studio every Wednesday. So from 1 to 5 o'clock, my doors were open. And I received sometimes as many as 80 people in one afternoon. People would make an excursion to Sayulita to come and see me. Then Sayulita became pueblo mágico. Well, I'm not sure that really did Sailita any good, because Sailita became too touristy, too many people, not enough infrastructure. And so we decided again, well, let's move to San Pancho. And San Pancho, there was a development called Hacienda San Pancho. It was Felipe Tomé started the development. And I was there at the groundbreaking ceremony with the Wichita Indians. And it was an amazing, I spent the day, it was an absolutely amazing experience. That really did Sailita any good, because Sailita became too touristy, too many people, not enough infrastructure. And so we decided again, well, let's move to San Pancho. And San Pancho, there was a development called Hacienda San Pancho. It was Felipe Tomé started the development. And I was there at the groundbreaking ceremony with the Wichita Indians. And it was an amazing